1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United States of America for round number 7, I believe, here at BRL. I am joined today by none other than Flynn. Flynn, how are we doing today? I am fantastic. I'm ready for these drivers to hurry up and get out onto the track, saying that we have our first driver out, and I believe that is Mr. Titan in the Williams. Very interesting stuff. Last week, if you guys have missed it, we had quite the showdown as NGT Blacks got their first win for BRL in the Mercedes last week at, I believe it was Monza. And rounding out that podium was Potato in P2 and Groggy Oregano in P3. Minico was looking good to have a good race, but Span, I think under the safety car, or had an issue. That may have been the week prior's race. But he was in a good spot, fell down the order, and finished in P10. So it's going to be looking to be a better race for Minico as Titan drives into that blistering sun here in the Americas in Austin, Texas. Flynn, how do you think this race will go for these drivers, considering not only that annoying glare, but also the tire wear around here? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Coda is a very flowing, undulating track. If you're not full focus here, it will make you pay, as we're going to go on board with Titan as he's going to start his first flying lap of this 20-minute qualifying session. Obviously sets the fastest first sector time as he's the first car out, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3, which is not sure what that was for. Oh. Gotcha. Traction already proving to be a little difficult for these drivers. It's going to be a factor to keep in mind as the race goes on, as those tires wear out. These tires are also going to be screaming in agony, wanting to get off these cars as soon as possible. These things are going to start to heat up, and as the deg comes into play, drivers will be trying to be easy on that lead foot of the throttle pedal. And I'm getting comments saying that we can't hear the second commentator. So we will try and start to fix that somehow. I think I have a fix that will fix it. Let me do that really quick. We try and get Flynn back in here so we can get the best experience for the viewers as possible, as these drivers are now coming in as we missed Black's mindset and Koenigsegg setting in lap times. Question for you, Flynn, did it show you that box at the top? Did it show you the party audio box up top?
There you go, I cannot see that.
Ooh, that
There you go, that should be working now, hopefully.
Do let us know in the chat as we have a few more drivers that we've missed cross the line. And a little update, P1 currently Bio, followed by Blacks, Drips Mindset, Koenigsegg, Potato, Mr. Titan, and Ferrari, all who set in the time so far. There is still 12 minutes left to quali, so we will see what happens with those drivers, as currently Ferrari is setting fastest Sector 1 in that Alpha Tauri.
Yes, and we always have a spin with off the BRS in Sector 2 in turn 11, so yeah, he's had a little bit of a spin there, so that's not ideal for him, so I think that's his lap done and dusted for now. But yeah, like I said, a lot of drivers seeming to struggle with grip at the moment and traction, so quite an interesting factor.
Absolutely. This track has many turns. If I'm not mistaken, it's got about 19 or 20. Don't count me out on that one. I am unsure, and it is 20. So these drivers have a lot ahead of them going into this race. A lot of moments where they can lose the car, as Ferrari goes pretty wide in that fast right-hander coming around the penultimate corner. Keep it together, put that thing on provisional pole, come to the Alpha Tauri. It's only going to be P7 at that moment. Probably cost him quite a chunk of time. Round will come Minico for his lap. Minico's needing a good result. He didn't have a good result in Monza as he finished P10. He puts that Red Bull up into P2. Good stuff for the Red Bull driver so far.
Indeed. It's good to see that, as.
And now we have both a Ferrari and not an Aston Martin. That's an Alfa Romeo. Two completely different color groups. But these two are next to start a lap, as Groggy is going to be coming to finish his lap just behind. Oh, he dips, goes in the pits. He's going to abort. Ferrari is going to come into his in lap, I would imagine. Or he's going to try and push those tires for another run. Which personally, I did that during my qualifying session, is he spins around, and that is going to answer our questions. He's going to be coming to the pits now. Surely, those tires are going to be screaming at him.
I don't know about that one. I mean, if he's got the fuel, he might go again. He's got the battery, but it just depends, like you said, on tyre and temperatures. So we'll find out in a couple of seconds what he decides to do.
Yeah, me personally, I chose to do a couple out laps for my tires because I did not practice very much. But the tires did seem to hold up very nicely, as PSR Sky is going to come across T1 and start his flying lap and set in a banker time, hopefully. But yeah, tire wear here is going to be a big factor, as the softs kind of they drop off quick, but the pace they hold before they drop off is going to be big. We have a
It is indeed.
spin. It's Aston Martin.
There is quite an aggressive strategy you can actually do the soft tyres, which I found out yesterday, which is if you start on the hards and then you box around, I want to say lap 20, if you can get them that far, you put on the soft tyres, and like you said, they wear off quickly, but they have some strong pace, those tyres do, so we could see some strategies like that today. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely, as OCE Remix puts that Ferrari up into P7, and tire management is also going to be a big factor here. How soft are these drivers going to go on those tires, or will they try and eke out as much performance on those tires before they just give out on them as possible? We will find out here in about 8.5 minutes. See what these drivers do.
Indeed.
It's PSR Sky
What times are you thinking for Tier 2?
Oh!
Are you thinking maybe in the 132s?
I definitely could see drivers getting into the 132s, as we witnessed PSR Sky have a bit of a moment there on the penultimate corner trying to get that Ferrari going. I can definitely see drivers dipping into the high 132s. I'm not really sure what the fastest lap possible around here is. So I'm not really sure how educated that guess is, but seeing with what we have here in front of us, I would imagine that this driver is going to find just those tenths flying around and find that lap time as Sky goes around yet again. Definitely a possibility here.
Yeah, we've got Stig up to the line now. He's gone P5 with 1:34.7. That's not bad for him in the Red Bull. Yeah.
This Remix is just having a ballet party and spinning on those medium tires, nearly collecting the barrier into pit entry. Remix is the only driver on mediums.
Oh yeah, I've just realised that too.
Now, Flynn,
quite interesting.
Why would a driver go for medium tires, which is a slower tire to the soft, compared to the actual soft tire?
Well, to be simple, possibly because obviously, as you can see, he's in the 1:35.024, and most of the 1:34s, which isn't actually bad on the mediums if you think about that. But he's probably done that to get a bank lap in, or as well done it to test equipment maybe, you know, like some of the esports drivers gone intermediates to test this equipment and a bank lap, and then he might go out again or maybe in a couple of minutes and do a soft run as we see switch tires. So I think he's out of it slowly. So that could be also another factor why they go on the mediums, because I know Potato myself, he does that quite a lot as well. He'll go on the mediums, do a bank lap, test his equipment, and go on the soft tires and see what he can do.
Right. Okay. I do see a lot of drivers usually put on those medium compounds first, and like you do say, test some things out. I myself have never done it. Try and maximize my time in qualifying for lap times. It still never happens, but I do try. Domenico goes into sector 2, opening DRS on his qualifying lap. 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in qualifying to try and get the most out of these cars possible around Coda as Ferrari's beginning of sector 2. Spin out maybe as Minico now goes fastest overall in sector 2. Is there another field flag in sector 3? That is a AlphaTauri leading by, I believe. Oh, I bet it's the other way around. Ferrari leading around. Or is that spins? That is spins. Here's Ardell.
Yeah, but I say it's Ardell was reversing and actually spinning all the pit entrance there, so that was quite interesting. Minico gets past it actually, surprising, I was quite surprised by that. And 1:33.4, so...
And just over a tenth.
Exactly, so we could, like you said, Haz, it could be into the 1:32s.
He's got
potential.
4 tenths to find to get to those elusive 1:32s here for BRL Tier 2. Will any of these drivers manage to get that bonkers time of a 1:32? We have 4.5 minutes to find out.
I'm trying to think who could actually get that time in. I'm thinking Minico. Minico could possibly get in the high 32s because Minico's obviously shown, like, from the start of the season to now, he's shown some like really strong pace and decent qualifying performance. I would say Potato and Black as well, to be honest.
Yes, I would say Potato is up there for drivers to watch. If Stig can not spin this race, which has been proving to be a challenge for the Red Bull driver. Not trying to point you out there, Stig, but if he's able to keep it clean and stay on track and not spin, I think he's going to be a driver to watch out for, along with the other Red Bull driver as well. Red Bull Mercedes have been very strong in the recent races.
It's been quite a good one to watch as well. A lot of quality entertainment, which is always nice this season, you know, so yeah.
This Remix is going to invalidate his flying lap, and now we're going to nurse those tires back to the start of another lap and try and get better than P10 for the Ferrari crew. Ferrari crew not doing too great this qualifying, P10 and P15 respectively.
Damn, that is interesting. Normally you see Ferrari at the top, don't you? Not at the back foot here, so that's an interesting one to watch.
Indeed it will be, but as they say, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. As Remix is going to come.
In my opinion, to be honest, when you start a race, you want to be slightly on the outside, not the inside. In my opinion, so I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like I would say it's the way you start on the grid. If you're on the inside, you're going to have a lot of pressure from the drivers on the right-hand side. If you start on the outside, you could possibly make a better tack and approach from the corner. Maybe, I don't know, but who knows? It's F1. When anyone sees a gap, they go for it.
These drivers tend to be ruthless when it comes to racing these cars who are at the top of their game. Nothing can match the style and pace of an F1 car on a track, really, as Drip's mindset is going to start his flying lap. Maybe not last flying lap, maybe. If he can save those tires in ERS, he might even be able to do another one. But we're coming down to the wire here as a group of cars is going to be coming across the start-finish line to start what is going to be their final laps. And that's going to be Ferrari Net, and I believe PSR Sky. Then it's got Koenigsegg followed behind. And Potato is going to be one of the last runners to put in the time. Behind those drivers, we've got ERS Ardell coming in to start one lap, and then the other Ferrari, again, of OCE Remix, coming across the line now, put in his time. Is he going to make an improvement? Up into 7th.
So it's not a major one. It's not a major improvement, but yeah, like I said, puts in P7.
ERS Ardell coming across to start his lap. Here we go.
No, it says down to the wire now, full focus for all drivers.
Here comes Stig, starting his lap. And here comes Drips.
And Minico as well.
Drips will not improve. Or he will improve, but he won't go up the order. Minico will start his lap.
Oh, someone's attacking the session, going to crash. And it's Remix as well. He's crashed at turn, is that number? I'm trying to think now. What number's that? Number 9 area? I think so.
Yeah. It's like putting his time and then retired the car as Potato set in a fastest sector 2. Potato coming to try and better a P6 as other drivers come across the line. It's going to be a little bit of an improvement for PSR Sky.
Zig, I think, went to P3 there. For 1:33.8.
Not sure.
Potato up to the line.
Not sure if that was much improvement from Zig. I think he was in P3. Potato up in
Wasn't
P4.
Potato P7? I think Potato's P7 jumps to P4, so
Potato was a good improvement.
Oh, not bad.
And we got a few drivers coming across.
Oh, we've got a spin as well.
Ron Swanson will not improve. He does not invalidate his lap.
I believe we've got Minico almost up to the line. He's gone fast as in sector 2 as well.
Now here comes Stig. He's going to put it to P7. Here comes Groggy for P14. He will not improve.
Mercedes doesn't improve, I don't believe. Minico up to the line. He does improve as well. He goes even faster. Wow, okay. I was actually not expecting that.
That is everybody to cross the line here in qualifying. Minico, pole position. Not into the 132s like we were kind of hoping, but it was close. 2/10 off of a 132. Almost 3/10 separating P1 and P2. Minico is looking to try and go back to winning ways here in Coda.
Yeah. And just a quick one as well. I was having a look at the driver table championship, and it's quite close between the top 3. Very, very close. So you got Bio, who is on 89 points in second. Blacks is on 81 points in third, and then you got Minico, who's currently leading the championship with around about 96 points. So, yeah, it's looking tight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and speaking of driver tables, NGT Blacks with that win moves up into P3 in the standings. Just quickly, we're going to go over your starting order for round number 7 here. P1 again is Minico, the pole position on that Red Bull, trying to go back to winning ways here. P2 is Bio and Mercedes. Good result for them. The rest of the order, P3 is Zig, Potato, P4 NGT Blacks, and the screen fades away. That's not ideal.
But no, I'm kind of shocked with Ferrari, you know. I was not expecting that. It seems to be on the back foot today, so
Yep.
interesting that is.
Ferrari starting a little bit lower than they would like, and going back to tables in the championship sides of things, Ferrari needs some good points here. 139 points behind P1 in the standings. They are currently sitting in 7th place behind Aston Martin. Ferrari here needs a good result.
Yeah, they do indeed, to be honest.
Meanwhile,
Indeed they do, because I believe they did better than last season, didn't they?
that I am not sure. I cannot say
Say
anything
for me,
about
because
that.
I'm not sure either. So
That I am
we'll just say
unsure
they
of.
did.
But at the opposite side of that table, your constructor leaders are Mercedes, followed pretty closely by Red Bull, and it's 58 points is that gap. So a bad race from Merck can set it all here as the 5 red lights are going to go out. No formation lap as there's quite a bit of a bug with it, and it's lights out and away we go. Here at Rhino 7 in Austin, Texas, and Minico gets a good start as does the Haas. Ooh, I see
It's also been a crash as well.
fiber flying everywhere, and there's a...
This drips.
Oh, did he not get away?
No, he did. It's the fact that I saw the Ferrari
Oh.
PSR Sky went into the back of him, and I think Aston Martin just got a horrible start, and he lost his back end, and
Ferrari
PSR tapped him on the back, and then yeah.
And that's a virtual safety car as a couple cars make collisions with each other. And
That's also blacks as well down the order.
Yeah,
Just realised that.
Mercedes, not the start they were wanting. Red Bull looking not too bad as Stig drops down to 10th onto the start, losing 3 positions. Energy Blacks, it's losing 8.
And some of the drivers also on an aggressive strategy as well. Only 3 people on the mediums and the rest quit on the hards, so some wanting to go aggressive, some wanting to start calm and collected and then go aggressively, which is quite interesting, to be honest.
As we have a little bit of a breather for a second, let's take a look at your tires. Most of your runners are on that hard tire. 3 drivers being Koenigsegg of the Haas, P4 ERS Ardell in the Alfa Romeo, and Bad Bunny Flo in the Aston Martin are your only runners on medium tires as we are back to green flag racing. And Minico getting a lead to about 6/10 now, trying to pull away from Bio. These two have been fighting what seems like all season long.
And there's a load of drivers in the pit lane as well. Stig also into pit lane, so Red Bull not having a good day either.
About 6 drivers dipping down early, so it's not what they want to see, but it's not about how your race starts, it's about how it finishes and how well you can
Indeed
recover.
it does.
Many things can happen in racing. It ain't over till it's over, and I didn't hear no bell, is what these drivers are going to be saying. As we move over to HT Blacks, has a little bit of a mowing as we switched over to him, trying to catch up to that Williams of Mr. Titan. Not a great start for the Mercedes, but the mindset of never say die is going to be ever so important here for that team to keep their lead on Red Bull in the constructors.
I mean, they are ahead by a bit, to be honest, but we've still got a long season to go, so anything can happen. Anything.
And saying
I
that,
think we've had to, yeah.
Haas and Alfa Romeo going at it. Iris Ardell is able to move past Koenigsegg in the Haas for P3 and trying to chase up Bio.
We've kind of got P5 and P6 battling right now. As well, they've got the Aston Martin versus the Alpine Potato. Looking for a move.
Down the inside.
Yeah, in the sector 3. Not where you want to really overtake, but we did see Sebastian Vettel do it into turn 19. Potato backing off there.
Here's Ardell's going to pick up first, or one of the first time penalties of the race.
Oh, we've got Mr. Titan as well to the pit lane, so he's also had some damage somewhere, I'm guessing. So
let's see if they change those front wings at all.
I think it's a front wing change. No, it's not.
He's just switching onto tires from 2-lap hards. The Williams goes on to mediums. Now, is this aggression or is this reactionary from something, or is he making like a front wing adjustment? This is interesting strategy.
That is interesting. That's very early as well. Those tires are not going to last to the end. So
I would not think so.
I think Titan's going to hope for a safety car, in my opinion, to be honest. So, as Dritz makes the move on roll as well. P13, a little bit of contact, wheel banging. No, it's the Aston Martin up into P13 now, the Alfa Romeo behind. They're going to look quite into the section as well. But nope, the Aston Martin's still behind, a little good there. But no, I do see that Bio is slowly closing in on Minico as well.
Yeah, Bio
ever so slowly.
He has gotten into that DRS stage of the race, and it's keeping him into. Oh, as we've got a spin, that looks like Mercedes of blacks. That's not good, as he just managed to gain back a few positions.
I wonder if he has got damage. He's surely. Maybe just a slight bit of damage.
Let's see, the front wing looks to be clean.
I'm trying to think, was he involved in any contacts? Because I know he dived into the pit lane, that's all.
He may have. There may be a little bit of sidecar damage, or maybe some floor damage. It's unclear as this time. Trying to look at that side, that underfloor there. It looks relatively clean as Remix and Stig. Oh!
Ron as well spun.
As we were talking about earlier, traction choosing to be a factor here. Well, not choosing to be a factor, it is a factor here. Pretty much anywhere you go, traction is going to be an issue. Lead foot will cause a lot of spins if you are not disciplined on that pedal.
I wonder if it's tire temps. Some people have the tire temps too high.
This is true. Gotta remember where we are also. This is Austin, Texas, and the sun is out.
When we say out, it's definitely out.
Oh yes. As these top two go into T15, which you can make moves into if you catch someone out. You can cut in that line, that inside line. But you just gotta be aware that most drivers may not even see you coming, or even think that you're gonna try and make a move there, which does make it a good opportunistic place to make moves. Unorthodox, yes, it does work. You do have to be careful.
I was going to say as well, looking at Minico and Bio right now, obviously Minico's not even touched the battery, but it seems like Minico's faster than Bio in Sector 3, because he almost got out of DRS detection. So I wonder if that Red Bull's running lower wings than the Mercedes, because the Mercedes looks faster in Sector 1 and 2.
We'll see how this plays out, as that's a Ferrari not moving and stationary on the fast right-hander. So that's turn 17 and I think also 18 as they classify it.
Yeah.
But he's going to dive into the pits as well on only 2-lap-old mediums. Stop.
I think we might see a switch for the lead here. I don't know though.
Oh, I see he's going to come into the pits and he's going to retire.
Yep. That's unfortunate for Ferrari as first DNF of the race.
One of the drivers hangs the helmet up on lap number 5. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way she falls, and you can't win them all. And if you could, we wouldn't be here. But the race must go on and see what the rest of these 14 drivers can do here at BRL Season 10, round number 7. Coda.
It's looking good so far. Quite a lot of entertainment-wise going on, as Minico's still obviously ahead. Lap 6 and nothing's really changed, but Minico's just calm and collected right now.
Yeah,
Byron not really putting the pressure on yet.
Calm and collected. That should be Minico's motto.
Yeah.
By the way he drives, he is unbelievably calm and collected, no matter when he has an issue or if he's leading out in front by a good margin. He's always on it when he's not making those just little tiny mistakes that end up costing him big. He's on it.
Indeed he is. We just see the position swap with ERS Adele getting past Groggy. As the Alfa Romeo is on the medium tyre, he's going to have the pace advantage by Groggy right now, but Groggy looking to come back, it seems, possibly on the back straight of 10, 11 and 12.
Okay,
so
look how deep that Alpine goes.
I know, it went quite deep. What confuses me about that corner is that if you go deep, you get a better exit, which makes no sense, but it works, so yeah, I don't know how that works.
You gotta use your devices where you can, as that Alpine will get in front of that Alfa Romeo, who does have that time penalty, keep in mind. As the Alfa Romeo will come back at him, side by side, going into turn 16, a little bit of contact. That is one way to take it too wide into T15. Not the way that I was thinking, boys, but well done, I guess. Let's just try and keep that contact to a minimum, as here comes Groggy. He thought about it. Ooh, this battle is going to be hopefully ensuing for quite some time, as Ardell just escapes a little bit. But that Alpine seems decent on the brakes. Saying that, he loses 2/10.
I was about to say, like, you're going to get like something like 3 goes Hamilton or something. That's what I was thinking of turn 19. I was like, please, no.
And now that battle is turning into a 3-way battle, as Ferrari Nuts AlphaTauri is looking to grab potentially 2 spots and move himself up into P6. The driver's trying to find the rhythm here.
They are looking at P1 and P2. Bio is struggling, I've been seeing, because it went from 6/10 to 5/10 in the Sector 1 area, and then all of a sudden he's lost it, and Minico's already almost out of DRS range, so I think Bio is struggling out there because he's burning his battery, and Minico's not even touched it. He's not even pressed the button once.
Minico is quite, I would say, a little supreme on the ERS management side. Much better than I am myself. He seems to have almost mastered how to manage that ERS and try and save himself from battles, even when drivers.
As well from ERS Adele, who made contact with Groggy as well. So yeah, that happened down in Sector 3 at turn number, I want to say 14, 15. But no, the outcome of that was that Ferrari not came into play, overtook both of them, and is now on P6. So Ferrari not will be happy with that one. So
going back to ERS Ardell, he just picked up another penalty, which brings him up to 8 seconds here on lap 8. Already at 8 seconds. That is going to be a little concerning, but you've got to keep your head up high. And speaking of keeping your head up high, I want to point out in P14, Ron Swanson, he's not having a great race, but here he is, still grinding out laps, hoping for something to happen. And in racing, especially F1, you never say never. Ardell, again picks up a penalty, which brings it to 11 seconds. Now, is this a race to the finish, or is this a race for a DSQ?
That's exactly what I was thinking. But no, there's not much going on right now, I'd say, with some of the drivers. I mean, Bad Bunny and the Aston Martin, almost in DRS range in P4 right now, back in it. Might look for a move on the house for P3. I think everyone's just like chilling now. Is on the hard tyres, and you know, like do as much tyre staying as Bio goes way too deep. So I think Bio's starting to feel the pressure. And Minico's just chilling and controlling the pack speed and everything, which is what you do in P1. You just chill at your speed and just control it. If you want to press the button, you know.
Absolutely.
That's what Minico's really doing. Like I said, that's just one way you do it, you know. And just chill.
I do want to give a little bit of notice to Twitch chat as Solar subscribes to Tier 1 for BRL. And he says, "Potato in the mud, please." As Potato
That's a bit mean.
is currently sitting in P5 and going directly against Solar's words. Oh, that's Artel!
I know, I was actually going to say something. Basically, he spun at, I want to say, around like 19 at the pit exit, and he's just retired.
And
I think he's quit for the day.
With as much going on in this race and stacking on top of that is those penalties, Ardell decides to call it.
He is going to come out though, but retired, so hopefully that won't cause a VSC or a safety car.
Very
Hopefully.
interesting. Usually those cars would stay in the pits, but as you see, the Alfa Romeo has a mind of its own and is still continuing down into Sector 1. That was turn number 3. As we watch Minico come around to the penultimate lap, almost out of DRS range.
Yeah.
As that Alfa Romeo finally comes to a stop.
Oh, Bio's gone way too deep into that corner then. Minico might turn on the overtake button here.
He doesn't touch it yet, as he's sitting still pretty much at a full charge. Minico is probably just trying to keep those tires alive as much as he can and nurse those things to have the best chance coming onto fresher tires at the end. Granted, if there's no safety cars, that will come into play huge for him.
I can see that Blacks is all over the back of Groggy right now, making me down to turn 1. And that's the Mercedes up into P7. Like you said, the Alpine though, way too deep there on the brakes.
Trying his luck again into T1. At first, he had me in the first half. He went very deep. It looked good, and then it just looked like he released it a bit and just went just straight on. As NGT Black's trying to recover after that start there. So we're going to look at positions gained. He went from losing 8 positions to now he's only lost 2.
That's not bad. So he's almost back to where he was. Like, was it P5 or something?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so
he was up into
not too
P5,
bad,
and Groggy is up 6 positions as long as English as well as P4 Bad Bunny also up 6 positions. So a good start for those 2 drivers trying to increase the points gain for this round.
Not bad indeed.
Battles going on. Everyone's kind of got into their groove.
Ooh. You say that, and Groggy almost lost the back end in turn number 14. That was scary to watch.
Yeah.
Back of the Alpine just drifting around the corners.
It
so
is.
rear tyres should start to suffer now, shouldn't they?
Yeah, as you can see in the background, as we're watching Groggy Oregano, you saw P1 and P2 come around T1 as in a magnificent shot. As now these 2 drivers come around to the final
it was a spin as well
from
from Remix.
Ferrari. That is not good, as he's about to lose 1 point that he would gain in this race from Mr. Titan, and also coming along with him is P12 of Drip's Mindset. Those 2 drivers are going to be itching to score a point here.
I was going to say, they're itching to score points, but the issue is, Remix is also on the mediums, but they'll be boxing soon, so how could that play out? Drips almost loses the back end there, so that was quite scary to see.
Oh,
that.
As we have Blacks.
Oh, hello.
Blacks has had
That
another
is not
issue.
Ideal. I feel sorry for Blacks today if I was in his shoes whilst racing today.
And not the race that he would have wanted, seeing his teammate up into P2 fighting for a mass gain to try to keep Red Bull at bay in the championship standings, pardon me.
That's what I was going to say, like the driver's standings right now You've got what, two Merc drivers and a Red Bull driver, and that doesn't help Blacks. I won't help him in the championship fight. So that's not ideal for him. So hopefully he can come back.
Yeah, and as another thing to point out, as Dripset and Mr. Titan go side by side after the long back straight, still side by side, these two drivers banging wheels. There's a little bit of moment from the Aston Martin. Is he going to try to make a move on the inside of turn 15? Yes, he is.
Oh wow, he is.
A bit of contact. As I was saying earlier, those drivers might not know you're there. It didn't give him space, and they made contact, but ultimately he does get the move done, whether that Williams driver is happy about it or not. That seemed like a good move to me.
Pit lane as well. Blacks is in the pits.
Trying to get off those 10-lap-old hards, assuming he's going to go onto mediums.
That's interesting. I felt like that's too early. Oh, he's got a front wing change as well, so we have damage.
Oh.
So he did. Okay, that is interesting, actually.
So damage and also spinning a few times on those tires might not help that cause as well.
That is true.
To fresh mediums, and is now effectively last of the runners, not scoring any points for Mercedes.
I can see as well that Bio is starting to put pressure on Minico.
As Minico still
to
yet to use ERS.
That is true. That's what's crazy. So it's lap 12, and Minico's like sitting there like, no, I'm not pressing the button. But then you got Bio who's on 48% battery.
Minico is
That's
safe to say, I believe, is sitting around at 9/10 of pace.
As Bad Bunny is into the pits as well on the Aston Martin. He should come out around P7? Something like that?
I believe you are correct. I don't think Stig is going to be close enough at all. I wonder if Oregano is going to come out in front, as here comes the Aston Martin. It's going to be a little close.
He's ahead of Groggy, so
not too close.
Will Groggy be happy with that one? He just missed out on position. Well, how's he boxed? He's got his box.
You gotta keep in mind as well that those hard tires that Bad Bunny just put on are going to be cold. Also,
that is true, yeah.
The hard tires on this Alpine are 12 laps old, so both tires have negative effects on them currently right now. Let's see how those kind of even out and see what can happen during this battle, as I think it's kind of just a little even, considering the age of both of their tires and temperature.
I was going to say as well, it's getting quite spicy from front two right now, as I saw Bio moving up to left-hand side down to turn 12, and then quickly going back up to the rear wing to not get past Minico. So I think Bio's probably starting to potentially shape up a move now as those hards start to wear off. So maybe we could see a swap for the lead, possibly in a lap or two.
And the Haas of Koenigsegg is going to be stopping on lap 14 to swap out from 13 lap old medium tires to go on to a fresh set of white walled hard tires. And for those who may be unaware of the tires, your soft tires, the Red Berry of tire, which is the fastest tire that we have, is going to be the faster tire, but wears out quicker. As
wow, Ferrari
Zig,
side right now.
Zig and Ferrari Nut are going hammer and tong. Haas is going to let him by.
That was tight for that pit exit. Like, wow. I don't know if you caught that, but that was like the Haas came out and Ferrari Nut was there to pounce.
I believe I was on it, but didn't quite pick up on it. So fans watching were able to watch that battle.
Yeah,
as
indeed.
They came out as Drip's mindset is coming into the pits to put on some hearts. Was that? Yes. Oh wait, those are 1 lap old hearts.
Interesting.
Those are used.
Oh wait, because he boxed, didn't he, on lap 1?
Yes, he did.
I believe. Yeah, he did. I
believe he did.
No, obviously Minico boxed. We need him to do a dummy. No, they're still staying out on those hards. So My guess is they might be waiting till lap possibly 20. I don't know if they can last that long on the hard tyres. But if you can get them to lap 20 and you're back on the soft tyres, you're singing and dancing really.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can last that long. That might be like puncture territory, which is quite risky for a lead in the race and the driver standings as well. So
the softs on 8 laps?
yeah, they'd be able to make that, definitely.
Yes.
Because I know Gary, he used that strategy. He got past me. I was racing
Yeah.
in Tier 3, so
And
they
yeah,
do show some strong pace.
yeah, Tier 3 is showed a little bit of tighter day around here, and as we were saying, the softs, they do degrade pretty quickly, but if strategy does allow it and you can get kind of a not a free pit stop, but a pit stop and still gain momentum, those softs, if you can keep it on track and keep that pace up, those things will last you quite a while, as Blacks is going to set the fastest lap of the race on new mediums.
I was going to say as well, Zig is shaping up a move on the Atari of Ferrari now for P4. He's turned on the ERS battery. He's turned on the DRS as well. He's going to fly by as well.
Atari's not going to use any ERS.
Up into P4. He's turned 12. Nicely done there.
1 lap
Zig
old tires
where he was.
versus 14 lap old tires.
I am correct. Oh, Minico's in the pits as well. Bio's going to take the lead. And Minico's dived in.
Now here comes...
I realised that Potato's into P3 as well, so... I say that, but he's also boxed. So Zig will be promoted to P3? No, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yes.
And Potato will be demoted down to P6. Possibly P7.
The Haas looking very good here in the later stages of this race, being hunted. Well, I wouldn't really say hunted by the AlphaTauri, but closely followed by the AlphaTauri, who is on quite older tires. Will need to make a stop. I wonder if Nut and Bio are going to try and, well, not Bio. I think Bio is going to react here at this lap and put on fresh mediums. I think that would be the sensible option here.
That's interesting. I'm watching Minico. He's not using the battery in sector 1. He's not using it.
He's not touching it.
That is something that I've not seen before.
Interesting.
Normally, that is interesting, because normally you would use the battery to push to get in front.
Bio as well, not using ERS to try and get an undercut or an overcut.
That is something that I've never actually witnessed before. So there's something going on here that I'm not picking up on. So I feel like we should keep an eye on as Bio is into the pit lane. So
look at that time; it's below 18 seconds.
Yeah.
I think
Minico
you lose about
gonna
19.
be ahead.
See if
So we run on board with Minico and see where he comes out. So we've got Mercedes trembling down the pit exit. You know what? It's actually going to be quite tight. Obviously, Minico's going to come out ahead, but the Mercedes ain't going to be far off of him. Saying that, into turn number 1. But Minico will probably use the battery now, surely, to break the gap.
the gap is
But he's
now
not touching it.
almost at 2.5, as those mediums for Minico are going to be up to temperature. Bio is going to be on those new but cold mediums, and Minico still not touching that battery. I wonder if that is just pure strategy, or if that is trying to minimize traction loss on those rear tires, because as it has been shown,
That is true, yeah.
it is very treacherous to try and put power down. And I want to say, it is so easy, as Mr. Titan gets a 3-second time penalty, it is so easy to forget how fragile those rears are under power when you are trying to build a gap, trying to battle a car, trying to do all these things, as Minico set the fastest Sector 2. It's so easy to forget how careful you need to be on that throttle pedal, and a couple drivers have been finding out And I wonder if that has anything to do with him not using his battery at all. Still sitting at 98%.
That is true, and I'm also watching on board with Stig right now as Groggy's exit the pit lane, I believe on the hard compound tyres. And Stig could possibly be looking for a move into sector 3, possibly into the dive bomb area, which I believe stands to mean Groggy goes way too deep. And apologies, Groggy's on the medium tyres, not the hards. But Stig looking, like you said, it's like he's head in the game today, if you know what I mean. Like, it looks like he's ready, he's pumped, and he's putting that pressure on Groggy right now.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Stig has not had a spin yet. I'm gonna knock on wood to try and avoid a commentator curse for him. So we're gonna try and see if this Red Bull will get up into P7. This is probably not.
I was gonna say as well, the gap is just going up and up for Minico right now as well. Just
increase that gap by about 0.2, maybe about 0.3. So he's just continuing that groove he's had here. He's looking like impeccable form when he's on it, and just having those small mistakes in some previous races just cost him quite a big time.
Oh, Stig is trying to look for a move into turn number 9 and 10 now. Getting tremendous exit there, he does.
So I mean, using that ERS.
Possibly into 11? No, he's staying behind.
Smart move by the Red Bull.
He's going to shape up an exit as well. Doesn't get the best exit.
A little bit of a wobble there.
End. But now, here we go. Yeah, he's going to get past for sure. Definitely. Into the rear. Up into P number 7. The fire sets the fastest lap with a 1:36.2.
Ooh, a little bit of a front left lockup there from the Alpine. They almost had a bit of a contact, as now the Red Bull is completely out of ERS, and Groggy almost takes that obscure line into T15 to get the overtake back on the Red Bull, but doesn't quite get there, as FerrariNet finally on 18 lap old mediums is going to go on to this or 18 lap hards onto mediums.
I was about to say 18 laps on mediums.
It's been a day.
But I say, FerrariNet's been smoking something. He was on 18 lap old mediums. Jeez.
Woo! He's doing great.
But to be honest though, with that fighting of Stig and Groggy, that's actually helped out FerrariNet quite a lot. P6 now. So, yeah, that's really helped out the AlphaTauri there.
And the fight between P7 and P8 could just bring NGT Blacks into play, like, once again, and promote him up into a few more places. Those are crucial points for Mercedes, and also crucial points for Red Bull. So this is going to be quite interesting to see what these drivers do. They know what they need to do. It's a matter of fact of can they do it.
Oh, I'm quite surprised. Minico's using the battery now. Minico's doing it. He's using the battery.
There he goes. And that gap.
He's, building that gap now.
Gone up as he maybe goes closer and closer to full tilt as this Red Bull starts to use up that battery. And Bio is just losing time to the Red Bull as of now. Sitting at 33% ERS. Minico's at 67. Minico has not used ERS all race until now. About lap 19, lap 20, he's starting to use it a little bit. But not even then, not even much.
I think it's the rears, because like you said, I did it in USA quite a lot when I'd lose the back end by switching the battery on. So I think he's saving his rears for the final few laps, I would say. Pretty smart strategy, to be honest. It's pretty smart thinking as well.
Absolutely. So I was thinking earlier this race about safety cars. I wasn't too concerned about a safety car. There's only been a VSC. There's been a couple yellows, but nothing major to bring out a safety car. And usually those are bad news bears for the number 37 car, which is P1 of Minico. As long as he can to hopefully try and avoid a circumstance with a safety car coming out, which we know that is out of his control.
Exactly.
But usually when those come out is when the...
I can tell you something's cooking right now. In number 5, Potato, he's catching ever so slightly to the rear wing of P4 Bad Bunny Flow, so Potato possibly looking up into P4.
They
So
are on different
Potato,
tires.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah, Bad Bunny
Oh,
is
they are
on
as well,
8
yeah.
lap hards, while Potato is on 5 lap old mediums. So this could play huge into Potato's favor. But it
Indeed,
also, mediums could start to degrade just a little bit to where the Aston Martin could stay ahead and fend off an attack from Potato. Potato and his teammate Groggy under braking have been quite magnificent. Other than a few moments from Groggy going a little too deep.
But say there is some different pace there in Sector 1, because if you look at Potato, he's 1.5 seconds from the Aston Martin, and that was all gained just in Sector 1. So different grip and advantage of pace right now from the Alpine, which is quite interesting to watch, if say so. But P4 is definitely on if he can keep calm and collected right about now.
That gap now from 1.5 to 1.7 is showing a little bit of that pace difference in this sector, as we'll watch that gap start to climb down here in Sector 3 as the Alpine finds that time back in this windy bit. That is Sector 3, trying to get that thing down to 1.4.
Yeah, I feel like we've got 6 lots remaining now, something like that?
Yeah, 6, 7, would that be 7?
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, including last lap, it would be 7.
Yeah. Yes, 7 to go. I can't count.
It's kind of, it throws you off on how they do that sometimes.
It does, yeah. It throws me all the time.
As there's not really any close proximity battles. There is interval battles as Blacks is going to go into the pits.
Hopefully that's not the as the Aston Martin, the Bad Bunny Flow, has actually spun at the exit of turn 9. And I think that's we've cursed. We said a spin and it's happened.
Yeah.
So Bad Bunny, we're really, really sorry about that.
He's only managed to drop 1 position.
That is true.
He's got a quite safe distance from P6. It's not the worst thing in the world. He's still up 5 positions from his starting grid. So it is still a relatively good race for the Aston Martin. Although it is a little bit of a bad luck that he spun. He's got to be a little bit careful. Now they're going to be a little bit hot. If you take a look at the top 4, they've stayed in their starting order. As he spins again. Just as I was talking about it, that traction, it is so easy to brake. And once it starts going, it's a nightmare to try and keep that car straight.
I'm about to say, I didn't know the curse was that bad. Wow, okay. That's not ideal for Bad Bunny right now, so that isn't a massive issue. He's still got a big enough gap from P6, but he's just got to keep everything under control. And calm and collected.
Gifts Potato his P4 back from where he started. He's finally back up to where he started. Going through.
He's pretty quick though. 5.7 from the next car.
Which would be
5.6.
The Aston, not Aston, the Haas.
The Haas. Are they on different tires?
They are.
Are they on what? One on the
There's another spin of. That's not Bad Bunny. That is the other Aston Martin. That's Drifts. He doesn't lose position, but he does lose time to Ron Swanson and Blacks, who did go on to soft tires, by the way.
That's interesting. So it seems that Blacks is desperate for points, but to be honest, where Blacks is, I'm not trying to do that guy, but I don't think he'll get enough points today. Because if you look from where he is to where P10 and 9 is, unless there's a major mistake or crash, he's got a lot of time to make up. Just looking at it from where he is now. But like I said, going back to Nico, absolutely dominating this race so far, I must say.
And keeping that gap just at 3 or right around 3.2, 3.3 seconds. Tony Zig staying around 14th. Potato is staying around 6 seconds. So everybody kind of staying put. As I say that, Blacks breezes past Ron Swanson to prove me wrong yet again with those soft tires. On an overtake on 8-lap-old mediums. Surely he's going to get that move done. It's just a matter of time. And when he sets a purple sector 2, no surprise, as that is the first time the softs have been out this race. All 3 compounds are being used currently. Now those softs will degrade a lot faster. As I was saying earlier, the softs are these, like they say, it's the softest tire on the use chart, but they wear out fastest, and then the mediums are the second fastest tire statistically. Wear out just a little bit slower, and then followed by those hards, which are the hardest, as the name would allude to, but they also wear the slowest.
Something that's also to keep an eye out for, that Ferrari now is catching the Aston Martin. It's 8.2 now.
Got just under or just over 3 laps to try and get that P5. Be a good result.
I wonder if the Aston Martin
Sorry.
degraded his, what, I don't know, maybe he's degraded his tyres, but too much of those 2 spins that could have lost potential tyre wear on the rears or something, maybe, or maybe is he after probably burning any battery? Oh, he is on 24%, so that could explain a little bit maybe, as the Aston Martin, the Bad Bunny, is actually on 54%.
These drivers just willing to hopefully get to the end of this race. I say hopefully, I mean they very much want to, as they've completed 25 of the 28 laps. If you don't make it at this stage, it is a kind of a sad moment, but like you said, you can't win them all. Sometimes you get thrown curveballs at you that you can't really avoid, and it happens. But drivers are now coming down to the finishing stages of this race. Some trying to get past and get more points. That is HD Black's Ferrari net, and also Groggy Oregano, who is close to TRL Stig, trying to go up into P7 for Alpine.
I was going to say, I said that Blacks wouldn't get in the points, and I'm sorry, but like I said, look how powerful the soft tyres are. I take back what I said now. Blacks is almost under a second to get a point today. I mean, a point isn't much, but it will do, you know, it will do for Mercedes.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't make them like run as far as they would want to run in the the team standings. But Red Bull will score decent points today. But Mercedes not, as NGT Blacks is gaining quite a lot, but not gaining quite enough into turn 12.
He's gonna want to dispatch this Aston Martin pretty soon.
He does, yeah.
But
if we're going to do the good old switcheroo, maybe, like you said.
Here we go. Can you make a move? This is my favorite place. There it is. My favorite move for an overtake. Almost gets his nose chopped off.
I'll tell you what, though. I did hear banging on the front wing, but I don't know if that was tyre banging. But I had some sort of banging. It looked like a front wing putt, but his wing seems to be intact.
Yeah, it looks clean. As we've been talking about the moves into T15 ever since the start of this race, and it is being evident that drivers will try and go for it, but also on the other side, other drivers just not expecting it.
No, who would, you know, but Mr. Titan's into the pit lane, so that's quite an interesting one. Could that be a retirement in the race? But I'm not saying it is, but he is unfortunately going to be lapped by the race leader, which is Miniko, followed by Bio and etc. As Miniko is actually on the penultimate lap of the race, Miniko is. Lap 27.
Yeah, that 37 Red Bull Oracle machine, looking quite dominant when it is on form. Bio just can't really reel him in.
No,
But I
not at
will
all.
say the fight between Minico and Bio, even though it's been quite far, the distance between them and how far it's expanded and retracted, they've been on quite similar place for quite some time.
Indeed they have. Anyways then, just to let you know that Blacks is once again coming back at the Aston Martin. Maybe it's turn 15, like you said.
Here we go.
Is he looking for it?
No, he
No,
thinks
he's
better
not. He's
of
stay
it.
behind.
That Aston Martin gave him no room to even think about it.
That is true. There was no room whatsoever. It was literally slam dunk on the side pod.
Here we go.
But right now, this is ruining the race for Blacks. As you said, you want to dispatch Aston Martin as quick as he could, but he can't.
This is where he's gonna try and want to just, I would say, stay behind the Aston Martin, but try and follow as close as possible. He's also got that penalty. Drips has a penalty. Blacks does not. So if he stays behind him, which I believe it's only a 3-second time penalty, it is. If he stays within 3 seconds, P10 is his. So that could be the reason also why he is sticking behind the Aston Martin, as he's not really going to gain any other positions because P9 is 13 seconds in front of them. But saying that, they're gonna, he might even try it right here, which is what I was thinking.
Exactly, and I was going to say as well that Minico is, for the last time in season 10 at USA round 7, is going around the track one more time as well, so yeah.
Here, he's not gonna do it here. Saving his time, but those softs are gonna start degrading just a little bit. Their max lap is about lap 8, lap 9, so he is approaching those marks here rather quickly. Keep in mind, Drip's mindset is on 14-lap-old hards, so those things are quite worn. The softs are going to be getting there. Look how the Mercedes is feathering that.
Remix as well, looking to make a move, maybe on Groggy soon for P number 8, on for the race. They're getting quite close in the last lap of the race.
What an exit! Almost claps the back of Groggy Oregano into T1.
Oh, I saw
no!
that on the stream. Wow. Oh, that is no.
That's going to put an end to that battle, just like that.
But Minico's come around the final corner as well, saying that.
And here's your winner. Do some weaving there, buddy. It is a P1. Back to winning ways. Number 4 for Minico is going to extend that lead. P2 and Bio. And Koenigsegg, if you keep it clean, he's going to come across the line and finish P3 and round out the podium, as NGT Blacks is trying to get past that Aston Martin. Taking it across the line and finish P3 for the Haas, and that is going to be, I believe, is that his D? No, it's not his D. That is his first podium this season for Haas, and much needed for Haas, as they are currently, I believe, on the bottom of the...
And Mercedes looking to turn 15 to go for a little bit of a dive. Yes, the Martin giving
there
over
it is,
again,
but
that's
no!
Mercedes round. Oh no, that is not.
You can't
There was
make
no.
moves there,
I saw
but
that, and there was actually no room there.
That is
no
the
room
result when
whatsoever.
that doesn't work. Almost 9 times out of 10, either you almost get your nose chopped off, or it does get chopped off, as HD Blacks has found out. With that, Drips will finish P10 right now, but I think he still will get P10. Yes, he does.
So
that's
gonna point.
That's gonna do it.
That race. Oh, that was thrilling to watch.
That's gonna be
thrilling.
Quite a gain for Red Bull, as one Mercedes driver does not score any points, and there was no McLaren here as well, so that's going to have big implications for them on the constructors' side. A good showing for Potato and Groggy as well.
Indeed. Good performance from drivers today. We have Blacks in the chat as well saying a diffuser and underbody damage since that one. So I was correct, he did have damage somewhere. So that's not ideal for the Mercedes.
We're gonna run through your finishing order here for BRL Season 10, round number 7 at Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. P1 was Minico in the Red Bull. Started P1, finished P1. From the start, there really was no doubt. He didn't use any ERS, which looked to us looked like lap 20, and then he started to try and increase that gap. And from P2, which would be Bio, good result for the Mercedes driver. Another podium, and try and keep Minico in his grasp for the championship battle. And Koenigsegg will grab his first podium of this season for BRL, getting that pass up into P3 after starting P3. And Potato getting P4. Top 4 staying in their grid slots. And the rest of the grid is Bad Bunny, P5, Ferrari Nut, TRL Stig, Groggy Rigno, OCE Remix, NGT Black, Strips Mindset, Ron Swanson, Mr. Titan, ERS Ardell, and PSR Sky, rounding out the 17 drivers that took place. Try and get these guys in here for post-race interviews. That would be 1 Minico. That would be 1 Bio, which I can't get in. And that would be 1 Zig. We are going to start our, we're going to try and get P3 in here, which would be Koenigsegg. Try and make sure that he's available, or wants to do the interview. Very good showing for Koenigsegg, and that has to grab his first podium this season. Trying to wait for a response from the Haas driver. And while we wait, we will go over to, I guess, P2 then. If Flynn, you would start us off with driver's interview here.
Yeah, sure, I can do. Well, Bio, hello, welcome to the interview. How'd it go for you today?
Bio?
Oh, I can't hear Flynn.
Not there, I'm guessing, or?
Apparently Bio cannot hear Flynn. So Bio, welcome back up onto the podium places again. Good showing for Mercedes, as you guys were trying to fight that Red Bull of Minico yet again. Just give your thoughts on that race. It looked like a battle up to the very end, gap-wise, trying to keep that Red Bull in a little bit of a grasp.
Well, I mean, first I have to say, the undercut is so OP around here. He gained 2.5 seconds on me when he hit it for mediums. Pace wasn't that bad. I guess it was just trying to keep the DRS gap and just stay in it. I made a few mistakes. The wheel died a little bit there. Yeah, he was just too quick for me at the end. Nothing I could really do.
Yeah, it was good performance, trying to get up into that P2 spot for Mercedes yet again. Flynn, do you want to try again with your question?
Oh, it's not gonna work because, yeah.
I can't hear you.
No, I can't.
Yeah, I can't hear.
I'll be
Okay.
able to only hear Minico at the moment, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, we will then hop on over to the Haas, and that would be Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg, welcome up to the podium places. Good result there for Haas. It's going to be great big points for them in the Constructors' Championship. Tell us how that race go for you.
It has. Great result, but lonely race. Top two, just too quick. I couldn't even catch them when I had mediums on. I think first couple of laps was my best chance, but I lost position to an alpha and then fell off DRS. Fun race though. I love this track. I didn't expect a podium, to be honest. But I'm happy with it. It's very physical, this track. My back is hurting. I'm an old man. If Menico remembers, this is my favorite number. I love finishing third, based on last season. Yeah. So happy to be behind two really quick guys.
And it's very nice to see you up there with them and keeping us entertained up here in the commentary booth for another round at BRL. Was there any real strategy mind games going into this, or was it just trying to keep the pace, keep pressure, and just kind of stick with it where you can?
It was. I picked a really conservative setup. I was running 37, 34 wings. So I was like a sitting duck on the straights, but because I didn't put in much laps before this race on this track, just figured I should go with a comfortable setup and make up pace in sector 1 and 3. So yeah, podium is great. Anything above P5 would have been awesome. So no strategy, just keep it on track, no penalties, and bring it home.
And that you did. Again, congratulations on your first podium this season for BRL. Happy to see you up here in the podium
Thank
places.
You.
And with that, we're going to move on over to your race winner, Minico. That is race win number 4 this season. You're back to winning ways. How'd that race go for you?
I can't really put it much more than that. I mean, yeah, good quality, managed to keep the lead off the start, and then it was just managing the gap between myself and Bio. Once I got that undercut, all I had to do was just keep it within track limits because I was actually on 2 warnings on lap 10, so I was running around 18 and a half laps with 2 warnings, so it was a bit difficult, but just managing it, and well, it was a simple cruise to the finish. I was surprised by the pace that Bio and I had over the rest of the pack. I don't know where that came from, but after 2, I guess you could say, disappointing races, Hungary and then Monza, where I finished the lowly P10, good to be back on the top step.
And we are glad to have you back up here. One thing I do want to ask, as it caught mine and Flynn's eye quite often during that race, your ERS management during that race, it seemed as if you didn't even use any until lap 20.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Bio didn't really have the straight line speed to really get past me, so I just had to, again, manage it. As I said, I didn't even use ERS until around the point where I set my fastest lap of the race. After I did that, just left it, didn't even bother touching it, and, well, made it. So, I'm not disappointed.
Fantastic drive from you. Flynn, are you able to ask, can you talk to Minico at all?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
Cool. Why don't you get some questions in since you weren't able to be heard?
What could I say? It's quite difficult. I'll probably go with your qualifying pace, Minico. I was pretty shocked, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting your quick laps, to be honest. Let me know, how did you go about qualifying? You had a first lap time, then you went even fast near the end. Like, where did you find the pace, and how on earth did you keep calm and collected?
Well, I guess you could just say it's out of pure anger, just pushing the entire limit. Because my setup was very stable. I can say that. So it was pure anger after dealing with Monza and Hungary. I knew I needed to get a good result if I wanted to extend my lead in the championship because it was getting a little close for me. And well, yeah, that medium lap. My God. I don't know where my medium lap came from when I first started this. Like, that would have been easy top 5. Like, I was not expecting it, but yeah, it's just driving pure anger after the past 2 races. That's all I can really say.
That's awesome to hear. And one more thing from me. Also, we have Singapore next week, known as Marina Bay. What are your thoughts on that?
I was correct.
That's good to hear. I mean, I can't wait to watch that then. It's going to be quite fun. Quite good. But no, that's everything from me.
Miko, I do want to ask, was a high 132 at all possible in there? We were thinking about it.
Yeah, we were, yes. That's right. Yeah, we were, yeah.
I don't know. I was able to do it in other sessions, but I didn't think it was going to be possible because I always go slower in the actual session than I do in practice, and well, that was the case. As long as I got like a low 33, I was going to be happy with the lap nonetheless. So a high 32 would have been possible had I not messed up second one. But yeah, wasn't really anticipating a 32.
Right. Well, that will do it for the driver's interview. Thank you again for you guys joining and helping us conduct this driver's interview. Thank you and congratulations to your podium, which P3 was Koenigsegg for the first time this season. P2 is Bio, and that Mercedes trying to get some points up into the constructors for their team. And back to winning ways for Minico, and that'll be his 4th win this season. Join us next week here at BRL. We're going to Singapore, a ruthless street track. Not as ruthless as the great Monaco, but it is a street track and ruthless nonetheless. And we're hope to see some fantastic action in that race as well. But that'll do it for us here at BRL Tier 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did, and Flynn. And that'll be it for us this evening. Hope you guys have a good night. This is Haz saying good night, and Flynn also here.
Yes.
And we are gonna say goodbye, and hope you guys have a decent night. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.